Have you ever yelled at a guy and had him turn into a frog? Would you guess that we're playing Rambo on the NES until we win? I wouldn't have. Rambo was a game published by Acclaim and developed by Pack-In Video, also known as Pack-In Soft. If you don't know this development house, then let me refresh your memory. They've developed such stunning NES classics such as Friday the 13th, Kabuki Quantum Fighter, Knight Rider, Predator, and Die Hard. Actually, their entire library is pretty obscure except for those few games. Oh, and Harvest Moon. Yeah, the company that made Die Hard developed Harvest Moon. Let that sink into your head for a minute. Alright, enough of that. Rambo does not have an interesting development history, as far as I'm aware, so let's get to the game. How do I put this? The game is built around the idea of being non-linear, but it ends up being extremely linear because it's just the typical you've got to bash your head against every wall until you find a secret Japanese style of gameplay. You progress from one section to the next, but each section is just a map that you can explore. You can't move on to another section until you complete certain objectives. Of course, this can be broken to all hell when you move to the next part of the game without getting a pendant and move left at a boat only to find yourself fighting gorillas in a pink palette. And no, I don't mean Viet Cong gorillas, I mean the not monkey type. Anyway, you start off at the army base, and this is going to be your first 10 minutes of confusion where you'll ask yourself, who is the Asian man I'm controlling and what am I doing? It's really simple. Talk to a few people. You'll be pointed to an armory where they'll give you next to nothing for weapons, and you're on your way into the dangerous jungles of Vietnam? Your first objective is to find Ko, and it's pretty easy. You head to the east, go north twice, head to the east again, go north again, go west, and you'll find Ko. Once you find her, go south twice to get to the boat, and then you actually have to walk through the water to get to the docked boat. Now, this is important. Pay attention. When you're on the boat, do not immediately go to the left or the right. If you go to the left, the game will take you to a weird spot in the next map. That is to say, it's an incorrectly palletized version of the next area you'll be heading to, and it has a passage that leads to a completely wrong part of the game, which manages to sequence break. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but unless you have godlike powers over this game, you'll be severely underpowered and have next to no health. Believe me, you want to get as many power-ups as you can. Now, instead of being an idiot like me, talk to Ko and get her pendant. I don't know why you need it, just that you do in order to continue. Once you do that, head to the right until you find Ko again. She somehow beat you off the boat. Speak with her, and she'll tell you that there's a village in the east. She's a lying pain in the ass, though, because the village is actually to the north, behind a cave. Once you go to the cave, you'll be in complete darkness. It's a screen to the east and then north in a cave. Just walk to the left until you can go north and get the hell out of that place. Once you head to the east one screen, you'll be in the village. Talk to the elder, who will tell you that one of their children is missing. Then you talk to the big-nosed guy to get a lamp. Now go frolic in the cave system until you find a gigantic fireball crapping spider. I remember this from the movie. Yeah, where Rambo uses arrows to kill a gigantic spider that's holding a child hostage. Yeah. So, kill the spider, save the kid, go back to the village, and now it's time to grind. You didn't think you'd see this in a Rambo game, did you? No. It's time to grind out a level or two of your combat knife. That's right, your knife has combat levels. You see, in the game, you have to keep it leveled up because the enemies get harder to kill. If you don't, well, you're gonna regret it. You know, when I originally thought of Rambo, I immediately went to level grinding. Now get your level up and head on out to the POW camp. Getting to the camp is actually rather tricky, so first things first, grind out some free medicines because you're going to need them. There's a fish here you can just keep looping over, killing and killing over and over again so you can get the medicine, but, you know, you still have to try and cross the bridge. I don't really understand this bridge. I mean, some people have such a hard time with it, complaining that it's nearly impossible to cross. Meanwhile, I just sort of ran across it and jumped over a few bubbles. So, I guess my advice to you is to just run across it and dodge the bubbles? Alright, crossing the bridge brings you to the POW camp. But then suddenly the game kicks into hard mode. From here on out, the simple enemies have all been replaced with soldiers. As soldiers that kick you in the face. You're going to die. A lot. The map you're on, you're going to need to head to the northwest. Once you're as far northwest as you can go, head to the east, crossing yet another bridge that people seem to have so much trouble with, and eventually reaching your first POW, who looks like the retarded half-cousin of the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Now that you've done all of that, you get to run backwards to Co. No, I'm not kidding. You really need to stock up on that fish medicine. Once you're on the boat, the game follows the movie and the boat captain will betray you. Kill him and his Mo-looking subordinates to get some extra health, then head to the left. This section of the game requires you head to the northwest, and if you're observant, you'll notice that this is where the game dumps you off if you head to the left off the boat without Ko's pendant in the beginning of the game. I guess it's a neat way to skip that part of the game. I also think it's primarily suicidal. If you're low on levels and on medicine, this is the best place to farm both XP and monkey medicine, by killing gorillas. No, I don't know why you willingly take medicine that has been in a monkey's ass, but you're Rambo, and this game is based off the movie. I mean, I'm fairly certain Rambo sucked the shit out of an ape's asshole to replenish his strength. Right? Anyway, you really just need to follow the path. You go east, north, and then to the west. You'll do some weird, funky platforming, but it's really not that terrible. I only failed it once. And then you're gonna get up to the most fucked up segment of the game, where you're being bombed by what is apparently every nation on the planet. Because everybody loves Rambo. Get to the chopper, and then GTFO. And here's something unique. Now you get to play as Co. Pretty interesting. Talk to a guy, get a key, free Rambo. Now that our diversion in diversity is finished, go fucking kill some Viet Cong scum. Well, more specifically, run to the right, avoid the living shit out of everything, kill a dude on a bike with some arrows, and get to the waterfall. Yeah. There's a lot less pew-pew and a lot more hidey-hide. The cave behind the waterfall, not so simple, I'm sad to say. If you move to the left, you'll get a heart for killing a scorpion that shoots fireballs. I am having a hard time justifying this, so let's just go with it, okay? You can get this enemy to basically stun lock itself by getting it just off screen, firing at it as it comes back on screen, and just repeatedly firing at it. It's actually rather easy to pull off, and I did it here. After you kill the scorpion, heading to the right will take you to the next section of the game where Co will die. From what, I don't know. In the movie, she gets shot. In the game, I kind of think she has a stroke. Whatever. Once Ko's dead, head to the right and you'll be at the enemy base, which is protected by flying robots and the Predator. Huh? Alright, look. I just want to get through this as quickly as possible. So, let's not question this. Here's what you should do. First off, kill the flying robot to get a heart. He's the hardest boss you've faced by far up to this point, but you should be able to take him out if you've got some medicine. Next, go explore 2 buildings. The first building, Building A, is nonsense and garbage. You can replenish your medicine in this building, but that's about it. Building B is where the action is. The best way I can describe Building B is that it's an unintentional maze. You need to get to a small room under some stairs, and you do this by going around the longest way possible, and while killing enemies with shields that I'm fairly certain are from another game and not Rambo, to eventually get to the end of the game. You're going to end up fighting a guy who has a severe and immediate reaction to any and all damage. This means his head will inflate and deflate so rapidly that I don't even. I mean, I think it's a Japanese thing. I don't know why it happens. I can't explain why this is a thing. I only know that it's a thing, and I'm fairly certain the same thing happened in Rambo. shit. Once you blow that guy up, you can head to the right and exit the level by helicopter. And now you'll set out to rescue the second POW. This one is right pain in the ass. You have to go around a huge cliff. The basic pattern is to go south all the way to the west, north one screen, and then all the way to the east. Oh, but it's not that simple. It's never that simple. You've got to fight robots shooting fire, a midget version of Popeye, and Mo from the Three Stooges. Plus, there's another one of those damned bridges. This one I actually had issues with, but thankfully the game is merciful here and will give you a super jump ability if you fall off the bridge. You know what? I don't fucking know, okay? This game has fallen into a clusterfuck of Japanese what-the-fuckery, okay? Once you cross the bridge, go to the right and rescue the prisoner. Then get your ass to the topmost portion of the map, where you'll face off against another guy that has a severe allergic reaction to pain. I mean, I guess we all kind of have a bad reaction to pain, unless you're into S&M. Once you kill Balloon Head, go to the right and head south. You'll be on the final boss. Holy shit, what the fuck is this? There is so much stuff flying around on the screen, I don't even know where to begin. The boss is just going to rain hell down upon you in the form of a crazy-ass amount of missiles. Plus, it spawns two enemies, one on the right that fires bullets at you and is completely useless, and one on the left that throws grenades and is your best friend ever. I say he's your best friend because you can't hit the helicopter with anything else but grenades. This boss fight is easy enough to understand. Avoid the fuck out of the missiles, kill the two guys that spawn, and lob grenades at the helicopter. This is an easy enough concept. This is not very easy in practice. The big problem here is how many grenades the helicopter can take to the face. It's going to take 50 grenades to bring this helicopter down. Once you do all of that nonsense, you'll be taken to the end scene where Rambo yells at a man in Japanese, turning him into a frog, and you get the end credit. I think we're done here. Special thanks to our Patreon supporters, Jim Pantire and Suey Kuhn. You guys rock. And special thanks to all of our supporters. If you'd like to continue to support until we win and all of the fun stuff we do at live.lordcat.com, please visit patreon.com, patreon.com/lordcat.